What do you say to the 40% of California voters who you'll need in order to win, who voted for Trump?
How would I need them in order to win, ma'am?
Well, unless you think you're going to get 60% of the vote. You think you'll get 60%. Everybody who did not vote for Trump will vote for you. That's what you're saying.
In a general election? Yes.
Are you sure?
If it is me versus a Republican, I think that I will win the people who did not vote for Trump.
What if it's you versus another Democrat?
I don't intend that to be the case.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
What the heck did you say? That makes no sense.
So how do you not intend that to be the case? Are you going to ask them not to run?
No, I'm saying I'm going to build the support. I have the support already in terms of name recognition. And so I'm going to do the very best I can to make sure that we get through this primary in a really strong position. But let me be clear with you. I represented Orange County. I represented a purple area. I have stood on my own 2 feet and won Republican votes before. That's not something every candidate in this race can say. If you're from a deep blue area, if you're from LA or you're from Oakland, you don't have an experience.
But you just said you don't need those Trump voters.
Well, you asked me if I needed them to win.
She gives me the feeling that she would say Biden is not old, but then Biden goes on the debate, suddenly he's old. Are we going to get a choice? No primary. We will choose Kamala for you. Maybe that's why she thinks I'm not going to compete for Democrats, because not democratically, they'll just choose me.
To win.
So you don't
I
think
feel like this is unnecessarily argumentative. What is your question?
The question is the same thing I asked everybody, that this is being called the empowering voters to stop Trump's power grab. Every other candidate has answered this question. This is not
Correct. And I said I support it.
So, and the question is, what do you say to the 40% of voters who voted for Trump?
Oh, I'm happy to say that. It's the do you need them to win part that I don't understand. I'm happy to answer the question as you have it written, and I'll answer it.
And we've also asked the other candidates, do you think you need any of those 40% of California voters to win? And you're saying, no, you don't.
No, I'm saying I'm going to try to win every vote I can. And what I'm saying to you is that...
Well, to those voters. Okay, so you...
I don't want to keep doing this. I'm going to call it. Okay. Thank you.
You're not going to do the interview with us?
Nope, not like this. I'm not. Not with 7 follow-ups to every single question you ask.
Every other candidate has answered
I don't
our
care.
follow-ups.
I don't care. I want to have a pleasant, positive conversation in which you ask me about every issue on this list. And if every question you're going to make up a follow-up question, then we're never going to get there.
Ms.
And
Porter,
we're just going to circle around.
I am an investigative
I have never had to do
reporter.
this before, ever.
Really? She's an investigative reporter. She reports while investigating you, so people that don't have time can understand you. So the Democratic colleague that you're not going to compete against and the Trump supporter that you don't need might like to know why they need to vote for you. That's why there is an investigative reporter. And you put yourself in a hole that you can't climb out. And now you're angry. I'm like, you are so arrogant and entitled. It makes no sense. It's funny. I'm not laughing at her. I'm laughing with her. But she doesn't realize. You don't realize what you're doing. Vengadilo, remember to subscribe.
You've never had...
And we're just going to circle around.
I am an investigative
I have never
reporter.
had to do this before, ever.
You've never had to have a conversation with
to end
a
an
reporter?
interview.
Communism forever.
She never had to have a conversation with a reporter. So she wants a one-way street conversation. And you want to be a governor? Ooh, that doesn't look good in my eye. And I got one.
You've never had to have a conversation with
to end
a
an
reporter?
interview.
Okay, but every other candidate has done this.
What part of I'm me? I'm running for governor because I'm a leader. So I am going to make...
So you're not going to answer questions?
No. You're a leader? I see a red flag. I mean, but you can't do all that and say you're a leader. Because you're telling me I know who people are going to vote. I don't have to do anything.
I am going to make...
So you're not going to answer questions from reporters? Okay, why don't we go through? I will continue to ask follow-up questions because that's my job as a journalist, but I will go through and ask these, and if you don't want to answer, you don't want to answer. So nearly every legislative...
I don't want to have an unhappy experience with you, and I don't want this all on camera.
I don't want to have an unhappy experience with you either. I would love to continue to ask these questions so that we can show our viewers what every candidate feels about every one of these issues that they care about.
So I did the deep research into her, and woof.
You ready for stat number 2?
I am.
All right. $632, which is how much you save in fuel and maintenance costs when you replace your traditional car with an EV, with an electric vehicle. So I lease a Chevy Bolt. It is the best car that I have ever owned. I just plug it into the garage, 3-hole prong plug, and I never have to go to the gas station.
So ladies and gentlemen, this seems to be a leaked video from Politico done in 2021. When electric cars was the thing, get one as quickly as possible in California.
That's awesome. And $632 is real money. And I know here at UCI, we have a National Fuel Center Research Center, and they're also doing work on how to make electric vehicles affordable, including for low and moderate income people, working moms, single moms like me, people who really could benefit from an extra $632 in their pocket. And it's also not just the individual savings, but it's also the total savings for our economy. So I'm on the oversight committee, you might know, and that is where we did a study recently this fall in September. And what it showed is if we don't electrify our transportation sector, that we're going to lose more than 500,000 Californians dying prematurely to air pollution and other problems. And the state could lose. Get out of my fucking shop.
I wanted to tell you that that's actually incorrect. It's not that it's electric vehicles. It's that if we don't meet the commitments under the Paris Climate Accord.
Okay, it does. Okay, you also were in my shop before that. Stay out of my shop. Okay, I'm going to start again with electric vehicles saving us money.
Perfect.
Okay.
I've never said that to my sons. I've never said that to my wife. But hey, it's work. She's stressed, you know. Hey, that's not that as important as you being in her shop.
I'm running for governor because I'm a leader. This happens, I think, whenever we're dealing with violent crime. There is a sense of outrage, of sadness, and of loss. But I think the important thing to focus on is any one instance shouldn't shape our overall immigration policy. This happens, I think, whenever we're dealing.
2024, Democratic Representative Katie Porter says that college student Laken Riley that got unalived at the hands of an illegal immigrant should not influence our overall immigration policies. I think that's insanity. A lot of people think that's insanity. So you can clearly see she would not change certain things unless it happens to a minority. She is the typical left-leaning people, but that wants governor power, just like Gavin Newsom.
So on election night, I went to pick up my daughter from water polo practice, and she's 12, and she got in the car and she was crying. And I said, did someone punch you? Like, water polo is a rough sport. I was like, did someone hit you? Did the coach yell at you? What happened? And she said, Mom, Trump won. Trump's gonna win. And what if I get raped and I need to have an abortion? This is from a 12-year-old, my 12-year-old daughter. And so it was really a reminder of how scary this time is for people and how important it is for Democrats to have strategies, both at the state level and the federal level, to make sure that we can continue to protect people's rights.
First of all, why is your daughter living with that in her head? It makes no sense. She's too young. And secondly, you live in freaking California. So that means if she wanted to get a plan B, even if such horrible things happen, you can still not have the baby. But the idea that your daughter still thinks she would have to have the baby in a freaking left-leaning city, you're so ill-informed and you don't even correct her. You're like, live in that pain, be one of us.
Give yourself to the dark side.
My ass, like, it makes no sense. Not all left-leaning people think like this.
Frontrunner Katie Porter is facing growing calls to exit the California governor's race. Those calls sparked by viral videos, not one, but now there's more than one, of Porter having full-blown meltdowns. Here's a taste.
I don't want to keep doing this. I'm going to call it. I don't care.
Politico with this headline, Katie Porter's viral videos plunge campaign into disaster. It quotes a veteran Democrat strategist as saying, "Is this a disaster? Yes. And the reason it's a disaster is because it amplifies what her reputation already is." Interesting.
I think even Politico that is kind of left-leaning is like, oh man, we need to get it out. Release that. Hey, do you remember that footage that you said, get out of this? Yeah, post that online.
So be it.
Congresswoman Porter, does Alfred get minimum wage? If you return the Batmobile, could you pay for the Green New Deal?
Video resurfaced of Democrat gubernatorial candidate Katie Porter showing up to work in Washington, D.C. in a bad girl costume. Porter wore the outfit on the same days as Democrats voted for their resolution on ground rules for impeaching Trump back in 2019. Ladies and gentlemen, they're memeing all over the internet about this lady.
Out of my fucking shop!
At first, I wasn't sure who this lady was, but I thought I saw her before and I was like, yeah.
Including Riley Gaines, who I disagree with strongly, should feel
What do you disagree with out of interest?
I think that it should be up to sporting bodies to make the decisions about who and
What
how
has she
should
said
compete.
that's actually wrong?
I think that what she has done is try to turn this. We talked about people, using things to kind of get likes and get clicks.
That's not what she's doing.
Because Riley Gaines was against trans women swimming in the same category as women.
I've got no truck for Riley Gaines personally, but all I've seen her do is stand up for women's rights to fairness and equality.
Well,
she actually competed against Leah Thomas, and it was obviously unfair. Leah Thomas won one of the races in the NCAA championships by 50 seconds against a bunch of biological females who simply couldn't keep up. That cannot be right. It cannot be fair.
That is something that I think our sporting bodies should be dealing with. And by the way, Riley is speaking up for herself, and that is her prerogative, and I respect her free speech.
I think she's speaking up for pretty much every female athlete in the world.
I mean, wasn't that the point of Title IX? Title IX in the early 70s was something that was it was a major event in feminism, that we finally have this law that says at colleges, right, and I think high schools too, but definitely colleges, women's sports have to be given equal to men's sports so that women aren't and this led to the WNBA and lots of other stuff. This seems to be the opposite of that. It seems to be so many instances, I think, where wokeness is the opposite of what I grew up as liberalism. Liberalism was, let's give the women an equal shot. This is let's put a male in the swimming pool with the women. I don't get it.
It's crazy. And meanwhile, trans people who genuinely want to compete at athletics and swimming or whatever it may be, they're the ones who are suffering here. They need to be found a way to compete fairly and justly.
Well, what's your answer then?
I think there's one or two answers. I think they either compete against their biological sex, as many of them did before, or you create an entirely new category.
I've suggested that. And most people disagreed with me because they said if I have to play in a different category, I don't feel included.
For transgender athletes. And then they're able to compete fairly. But what you cannot do is continue to allow more and more trans athletes to start decimating women's records, in some cases irrevocably. It's just not fair.
So as you can see, not everybody agrees with her, but the fact that she's going to become maybe governor for California.
Oh, yes. This is why I didn't want to do. I need the lights off, the bright lights. I'm so sorry, but I am about to get on. Bernard, I need you to turn these off.
Lights off?
These that are killing me. Hang on 1 second, everybody.
No, we should put the computer up on it.
Yes, yes, we should have. Yes. Okay, everybody. I'm not that dark.
It's too dark.
Oh my God. I don't want to laugh. She is going to get so pissed.
It's too dark.
Just a minute. Okay, everybody, out of my fucking shot. I'm sorry about that. I am in a TV studio getting ready to go on Cuomo, and so I had all those studio lights on me, and I couldn't see myself or see you guys.
Well, she proved me wrong. Maybe I judged her too much. I can take an L. Then again, she did turn off the camera.
I'm running for governor because I'm a leader.
Don't get me wrong, makosa kita bong. Put the fire na mi blonde kush hash purple skunk criollo colombici jam jam. Durloketa berdetta welcome.